My name is Francisco Matsuda. I was born in Los Angeles. I was born September 1923. My father's full name was Yoneso Matsuda, and my mother's name was Guadalupe Sosa. My grandmother used to work a lot, so they moved to Texas, and then one day my father, I don't know how it happened, met my mother and talked to my grandmother and said she would like to marry her. And my grandmother said, well, she's too young right now. He said, yeah, but I want to wait for her. So some way they got married in Texas. And that's where they had my oldest sister, Anita Matsuda, Ernesto Matsuda, Alfonso Matsuda, and Lucy, Angelita Matsuda. And then from there, they moved to LA. And then I was born in Los Angeles with my brother Fernando and Josefina. My brothers and sisters, my father would take them to school, and the kids would bully them and call them names and all that. Ching Chinaman and all kinds of names. So finally, my sister went to the principal. We moved to another house. Is there any chance that we could use the name Sosa? The principal says, yeah, you could use it, but it's not legal. So that's how we use Sosa and no Matsuda. I myself look at myself like a Japanese American. I like their culture, everything they do. I mean, when I went to Japan and I saw how good they were, I don't know, I just like their ways, and that's why I say, whenever they ask me, I say I'm Japanese American. The Japanese Americans that I knew, they lived on Savannah, and I think it was First Street up that way. And I went to school with them. When I heard that they were leaving, I felt bad. I said, heck yeah, I went to school with them, had all this fun playing football and all that with them. And here they're putting them in camp, so I felt bad. That's why I said, I'm going to be a hush-hush. I'm not going to tell them anything about me. And when war broke out, my brother Al had just graduated, and he happened to be visiting one of his Japanese friends, and he told his friend, I would like to join the Navy. And all my brother said, well, I don't think I could get in because my name is Matsuda. And the Japanese friend told him, well, if you really want to go in, come with your birth certificate and I'll show you how you could do it. The Japanese kid did. He got lemon juice and put it on the name. And then he said, come tomorrow, put Sosa, and you're in. And I didn't know he did that, so he got in the Navy. So then I was failing in school, and I said, man, I'm going to join the Navy. They told me, you're underweight, drink a lot of water, eat a lot of bananas, and come back with your birth certificate. But about 2 or 3 months later, I got a draft card saying Frank Sosa, the name of my sister. When we were in school, young, so that's how I got in the Army. This is my brother Alfonso. He was aboard 3 or 4 carriers, and my brother Ernie was in the Army. I was with the 1st Cav. My brother Fernando was with the 442. This picture was taken on Brooklyn Avenue and Forest, 1943, I think. Okay, Fernando was drafted after Ernie and I was, and he went into service, and I think he told them that he was part Japanese. They started investigating, and they found out we were part Japanese. So they put him with the 442, and he told me that the Japanese kids would tell him, "You're spying on us." They didn't trust him. So then they sent him to Italy for occupation troop. That's it. I got drafted in 1943, and I took my training at Camp Roberts, and while I was there, everything was good until I got my furlough, and I went home, and everyone would tell me, "The FBI has been asking questions about you." Furlough was over, and I went home. I went to camp. They told my friends at camp told me, "The provost marshal want to talk to you." I said, "What for?" "I don't know, but you better go over there. He's been looking for you." So I went over there and I put my hand and said, "If I could get my hand down." He said, "You're part Japanese, huh?" I said, "Yeah." "And you have a brother in the Navy?" I said, "Yeah." "Do you know where he's at?" I said, "No, I don't know where he's at." He says, "Where do you want to be sent?" I said, "Wherever you want to send me, I'll do my job." And he says, well, he sent me to my barracks, and the next day he called me and he read me the article of war, and then he says, "We're going to Fort Ord for amphibious training." So I ended up to Fort Ord and did my amphibious training there, and from there I went to New Guinea, and I had an M1 rifle then. But then when we were going to the Admiralty Islands, and I landed the Admiralty Islands, they took my rifle away and gave me an M1 1903 rifle. It's a bolt-action rifle. And all my friends said, "Hey, you're going to be a sniper, huh?" I said, "No." I said, "I didn't qualify. I'm a marksman." He said, "No, you're going to be a sniper." I could tell that rifle was a sniper rifle. The reason I think they gave me that bolt-action rifle was they probably didn't trust me. Nobody knew I was part Japanese. So only one time when I was taking our physical, they gave me us shots and all that, and they gave me my history on my hand, and I was looking and said, "Ancestor Japanese." And the Mexican friend of mine looked over and said, "Eres Japonés?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "What?" He said, "Oh, I didn't know that." I didn't get assigned till I got to New Guinea or Admiralty Island, one of the two. I got assigned to the first camp, and they assigned me to service in the service troop. That's how I started off with service troop. Okay, when we landed on Leyte, I was under the beach master unloading ships and ammo and all kinds of stuff. We got bomb strafe and everything. One night they blew up the whole gasoline drums and ammo and everything. And I was under an Amtrak hiding from all the bomb and shooting. Me and a friend of mine, his name Agustin Jimenez, there were two Japanese planes that came over, and they were making all kinds of noise, and one turned his engine off and kept gunning and then took off. So they thought it was all clear, and they turned on the lights, and that's how we knew where the just put bombs right in there. And then from there, they sent me to a service company, and we would take ammo and food to the front line. They had us race to Santa Tomas because the Japanese were going to kill the civilians and people that were in there. And all of a sudden, some snipers opened up on us. So everybody jumped out, and the closest place I saw was close to the Jeep, and I hit my sergeant and all that, ran across the field, and he's yelling at me, telling, get your so-and-so over here. And it was an open field, I couldn't, so I told him, no way, I'm not gonna go. And he says, get your so-and-so. So I got up again, tried to do it, and I said, no, I'm not doing it. Officer called me in. He told me, hey, you disobeyed an order. And I said, yeah, but I said, well, you crossed a place, I mean, it was clear, and no bushes or nothing to hide, and you could see those bullets heading on the pavement there. I said, what you crossed? He said, no matter what, he said, when you're given an order, you do what you're told. So he says, do you want to go to court martial, or do you want to go to front line? I says, no, I don't want to get court martial, but I'll go to front line. That's how I got an F troop. We'd go out on patrol or stuff like that. One time I remember they put me as a scout, and as I was going with the guys, I was on the left-hand side, the other guy was on the right. And we were walking, all of a sudden a Japanese guy, soldier just ran right across us, and everybody started shooting, and I brought out my rifle to shoot, and I pulled the trigger, and click. I had a lot of mud in I had fallen in the river. But I really felt sorry for that Japanese guy because he didn't have a rifle or anything. I went from Manila to Luzon. One time we overshot the front line all by ourselves, and the sergeant called me and says, you know what, we overshot the front line. The front line's over here, and we're ahead of them. I want you and Bully Beef go up on a hill over there and keep your eye on the Japanese because they're all around us, and watch, see what's going on. Or we'll make a U-turn to get out of there because he told me we didn't have the firepower to fight anybody. So Bully Beef and I went up on the hill there, and we were watching, and then from one side we could see the Japanese killing the Filipinos, chasing, you could see them running. I was watching the artillery was shooting at the front line guy. I could see the shells going, and for some reason they must have spotted us. I think it was because when the trucks were making their U-turn to get out of there, they saw the dust and knew something was going on, so they started throwing their shells at us. And I kept looking at it, and I saw it was forward, side, back, forward, side, back. And I kept looking, and I told my friend Bully Beef, I said, Bully Beef, get your butt out of there, let's get out of here. And he says, no, look at him, we gotta let them know. No, get your butt out, the next one's gonna be here. I jumped out, and I fell into a caribou hole. It was all muddy, and he was still there, and I got, Bully, get out of there, and he jumped out of there, the shell fell right where he was. So then the sergeant came calling for us, and he yelled at us. He didn't see us, but he was yelling at us to get down, and we were in a hole, Bully and me and I, you know, like when you're cold, we couldn't even talk and say anything. Our teeth were just rattling. So he took off thinking that we probably got killed. Finally, when we got our marbles, we ran down the hill and jumped on the truck and took off with them. When I got to Japan, we landed in Tokyo. And from Tokyo, they sent us to Yokohama. The only thing I remember when we first landed in Tokyo, the Japanese would not face us, they would give us their back. They'd be lined up just when they're giving us their back. They would not face us. But after that, I think after about a week or two, then they started being friendly, they talked to us. They seemed to not be afraid of us. At that time, they looked like they were afraid of us. All we did was they were disarming the Japanese. We used to get their ammo and their rifles and all that, and just tack them away, and that's about it. We just were occupation troop, and then they didn't have us walking around looking for orphan kids that were there. And I found some kids that were hiding underneath a place. And I picked them up, bring them to people's houses and told them that, you know, could they hold them until the Red Cross, because they said the Red Cross will pick them up and all that. Some of the people would say, no, we don't have enough food to feed them and stuff like that. So I came back in 1946, and I just got the streetcar, and I ended up in Little Tokyo there. And while I was there, some Japanese kids that I knew from school saw me, and they came up and they were very happy to see me back and asked me where did I serve. We had coffee, and that was about it. And I landed. I got home and nobody was home, so I knew how to open a window, and I just slid the window up, and I just went in, looked around, put my bag in the side, and just got in bed and lie down and slept. And then my sister Lucy, she was the first one that came in and said, "Oh, Frankie!" That's what I can remember then when my brothers and sisters came, they were surprised that I had got home without them knowing that. I happened to go to Main Street. There was the theaters there that I wanted to go, Aero Theater. And as I was walking toward the theater, I saw this friend of mine, Mario Miranda. And I asked him, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to go and join the Navy." I said, "What?" I said, "You know what, I'll join the Navy with you." He said, "Oh, you will?" So we joined the Navy together. So when I came home, my mother asked me, she says, "Did you find a job?" I said, "Yeah, I got a steady job." I says, "Well, when do you leave?" I said, "Well, tomorrow I got to pack up and get and go." She said, "Pack up? Why?" I said, "God, I have to stay over there. I find a job, I got a good steady job." So then my brothers and sisters said, "Well, where did you get the job?" They want to know where. And I didn't want to tell them until in the morning when I got up. I got all my stuff ready. And I was leaving. My brother-in-law says, "Did you really get a job?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Where?" I said, "Well, it's a steady job, don't worry." So I took off. And he followed me, and I didn't know it. I was sitting in a bus like this, and he looked in and he said, "Oh, where you're going? Where the hell are you going?" I said, "I joined the Navy." I joined the Navy in 1946, I think it was. And I trained at San Diego in the Naval Yard there. From there, they sent me to an air base in San Diego. I used to guide the planes in. You have to know which wheel to tell them to put the brakes so you could turn that way or this way. So I did that, and I worked in the fire department. And then from there, they sent me to San Pedro. And then they sent me back to San Diego, Camp Elliott, that's what it was, in Camp Elliott in San Diego. They sent me there, and the Marines had taken over the Navy Yard there. And after the Navy, I wanted to work for Associated Auto repairing generators and starters. And I met my wife, and we got married. But anyway, I had 3 children. We had 3 children. When I was brought up in East LA, everybody were good. Never had any problem with them because we have Russians, Germans, and every nationality. Even the Pachucos, they were the best. People were jealous of the Pachuco the way they dressed and make fun of them, but they weren't bad guys. They were good. To me, the ones that I knew in Hollenbeck and Roosevelt, they were nice guys. Alfonso, he wanted to be a Pachuco. And my mother told him, "I don't want you to hang around with those guys. I want you to go with it." But he's not got a zoot suit and put it on. she made him throw that suit away, took it away from him. She said, "You're not." And Fernando, he happened to be going. He went to Main Street. Fernando was had his Levi's on and jacket, a Levi jacket, and he was in a streetcar, and these guys stopped the streetcar and started grabbing guys out. See what one of the guys, the sailors in the army, grabbed him and started beating him up. And he said he saw the Pachuco being beat up and their pants ripped.